Alright, what is up, YouTube? MK40 here. Today we're going to be analyzing, just looking at some of the deck lists out of the PPG this past weekend. Whew, these are very interesting. So we actually have a combo Traptrix list. This is actually kind of interesting. It's been a little while since I've seen Traptrix kind of like indulging in the format. A few key players in the game like this deck, but Parallel Exceeds with format skippers is very interesting. So we have triple copies of the Ash Blossom, Enjoy Spring, one copy of the DD Crowmeister, triple copies of the 4-Mud Skippy, 2 copies of the Ghost Ogre, triple copies of the Parallel Exceed, triple copies of Dionea, triple copies of Mantis, and triple copies of Myromelia. Then we have triple copies of Cosmic Cyclone, one-dimensional Fissure actually, and 1 copy of Double or Nothing, wrapping up the spells. Remember, the entire objectivity of your deck is you're a stun deck that looks to interact and play based on what the opponent does. You've also got a really cheesy OTK built into your main deck that doesn't really conflict with your strategy. It's just if you draw it, that kind of stinks. Outside of that, your deck functionally can still operate, and you can still go brrr as you kill your opponent for game. We have 1 Bottomless Trap Hole. That's interesting. 2 copies of the Floodgate Trap Hole, 1 Gravedigger's Hole, triple copies of the Infinite Impermanence, 1 Macrocosmo, 1 Network Trap Hole. When your opponent watches summons a monster from the main deck or graveyard, banish it face down. Okay. Triple copies of our Extender, that way we can OTK with normal summon plus Shade. 1 Torrential Tribute, this is also very interesting, and 1 copy of the Traptrix Trap Hole Nightmare. Down here in the extra deck, we have triple copies of Traptrix Sarah, 1 copy of Kagari, 1 copy of Hayate, 1 Almirage, 1 Pentastag, 1 Phoenix, 1 Axis Code Talker, 1 Rafflesia, 1 Almirars, 1 Redoer, 1 Utopia the Lightning, 1 Utopia Double, and 1 Utopia. Side deck here we have, of course, triple Space Rock, 2 copies of Lightning Storm, triple copies of A Pointer of the Red Lotus, triple Evenly Matched, 1 Red Reboot, and triple copies of the Solemn Judgment Machine, wrapping up your Traptrix list. Quite honestly, though, I see why this list did good, on top of, standard shenanigans that you do. A good grindy deck. Also the fact that if you open up these good cards, you're basically going to be able to grind your opponent out into a scenario that'll put you into just such an outlandishly good fighting position. It's almost like these 2 cards allow your trap cards to allow you to play the game. What a weird scenario. Ah, yes, the beginning of Numeron Eldlich. Now, for those of you that live underneath a rock, Utopic Zexal gets the chance to shine. And actually, with this, I see we're only playing the 1 Numeron Calling. We have a 7-card dedication to this in the main deck here, which is the triple, this, and then the 3 field spell. Terraforming, I guess. So, 8-card dedication to allow us to make Zexal on the opponent and win the game. That seems like Value Town. So we have triple copies of Ash Blossom, Enjoy Spring, triple copies of Effect Veiler, because hand traps, 2 copies of the Eldlich the Golden Lord, and triple copies of the Ghost Mourner Moonlit Chill, and triple copies of the Numeron Wall. The fact that Wall also acts as another pseudo hand trap to allow you the activation of the Numeron network before you even draw your card is really good. We also have triple copies of Cursed Eldland, 1 copy of the Eld Elixir Black Awakening, only 1 Calling, triple copies of Network. The cool thing with Network is once you establish it, though, you can just eat off of it with the Golden Lord to establish it back onto the field for free. Like, multi-purposing value is insanity. We have 1 Terraforming, and we have triple copies of the Conquistador, triple copies of Eld Elixir of Scarlet Zanguine, 1 copy of Cursed Land Forever, 2 copies of Hakuero, triple copies of Infinite Impermanence, triple copies of the Solemn Judgment, and then we have 2 copies of Summon Limit, wrapping up the main deck here. Extra deck, we have 1 Selene, 1 Link Kuriboh, 1 Nightmare Phoenix, 1 Halifibrax, 1 Access Code, 1 Juggernaut Libby with the 1 Gustav, and then we have our beautiful package of 1 Zexal, 1 Sunya, and then 1 4, 3, 2, and 1. Then we have 1 copy of Pleiades, and 1 copy of the Cyframe Lord Omega. Side deck here we have 1 Pankratops, 1 Ghost Reaper, actually, it's kind of interesting. Triple copies of Gamma, 1 Driver, triple copies of Cyclone, 2 Chalice, triple copies of Lightning Storm, and 1 copy of Twin Twister, wrapping up one of the earliest builds that we're probably going to see for this engine until Dragma comes out. Next up, we have actually, back on the topic here of the Golden Lord, I see we have a list that is basically playing the zombie engine with this. And the problem is the Golden Lord is very good in his own deck. He's also playable within his own sub-engine with zombies, I guess is the best way to say it. So we have triple copies of Ashel Blossom and Joyous Spring, 2 copies of Doom King and Boulder Druck, 2 copies of the Golden Lord, 1 copy of Globe Bloom, 1 Mizuki, 1 Banshee, triple copies of Solitaire, and then 2 copies of Unizombie, wrapping up the main deck monsters. Then we have triple Eldland, 2 copies of the Elixir of Black Awakening, 1 White Destiny, 1 Foolish Bro, triple copies Pot of Extravagance, 2 copies of Super Polymerization, and 2 copies of Zombie World, wrapping up your spells. Do not underestimate the power of Zombie World, still even in a format like this, alright? Messing with typing on cards is still a very devastating thing to some decks. Traps, we have 2 Conquistador, triple copies of Elixir of Scarlet Sanguine, 1 Cursed or Golden Land Forever, 2 Hugwero, 2 copies of Rivalry, and then we have 1 copy of the Shiranui style Swallow Slash. Alright. 2 for 2s are not the best in some decks, but this is still really good here. Down here in the extra deck, we have 2 Vampire Sucker, 1 Link Kuriboh, 1 Nightmare Phoenix, 1 Boral Sword, 1 Avendred Savior, 1 Juggernaut Libby, 1 Gustav Max, 1 Pleiades, 1 Void Ogre, 1 Omega, 1 Starving Venom, 1 Mud Dragon, and 2 copies of the Dragon Necrosoul Dragon. Side deck here we have triple Nibiru, triple copies of Dark Ruler No More, triple copies of the Lightning Storm, triple Evenly Matched, and triple copies of Summon Limit. I also want to add a sub note here. It's looking like Summon Limit's returning back to the online metagame as just a very, very solid pick against today's metagame. Just having this card being able to slow down what the opponent is doing right now is very, very good. At least in terms of tech choices. I very much like this. And last but not least here, we have the winning Altergeist list, if I recall correctly from my notes. So we have 1 copy of Kungari, triple copies of Marionetter, triple copies of Melazeek, triple copies of Multifaker, and 2 copies of Zilguidos. I don't ever think the Altergeist part of the deck ever changes. Right? Like it's almost always these monsters. We have triple copies of Ashel Blossom and Joyous Spring, triple copies of Effect Veiler, and 2 copies of Ghost Mourner and a Moonlit Show. Spells, we have triple copies of Cosmic Cyclone, and triple copies of Pot of Extravagance. Okay. Traps, we have 1 Manifestation, 2 copies of Protocol. There's the triple Compulse, by the way. Okay. Triple copies of Infinite Permanence, triple copies of Personal Spoofing, and 2 copies of Torrential Tribute, wrapping up the main deck here. Down here in the extra deck, we have 1 Zeroboros, 2 copies of Selene, 2 copies of Relinquished Anima, triple copies of Link Kuriboh, 2 copies of the Halifibrax, triple copies of Hextia, and then double access code Talker. If you're a budget player, I'm sorry about this. Side deck here, we have triple copies of Ghost Ogre and Snow Rabbit, triple copies of Nibiru the Space Rock, triple copies of Lightning Storm, 1 Raigeki, 1 Imperial Order, 1 Skill Drain, and triple copies of Solemn Judgment, wrapping up another fantastic chunk of competitive deck profiles for everybody. There's no metagame. I'm really looking forward to seeing how the format will shape up once we get Rise of the Duelist. I think it's going to be a pretty crazy time out here in terms of what the competitive scene will bring. And hopefully a good ban list will help clean up some of the format, per se. So, guys, please leave a comment down below what you guys think about today's format. Well, guys, I'm peace out. Thank you, patrons, for making the ride never truly end. Without you guys' support, well, I would probably be doing Truffle Shuffle videos for a living. Guys, please check out VanCole40 for all of your Cardfight Vanguard content brought to you by MCole40. And if you are looking to pick up singles, check out mcolegames.com for your trading card game needs. Thanks for watching, everybody.